The Notre Dame Fighting Irish should again have a dominant defense in 2025. Everybody knows the headliners, but let's talk about an X-factor player that could take the Fighting Irish to the next level. Ryan Roberts from A to Z Sports, breaking down everything Notre Dame football. Folks, we're going to blink our eyes, and the 2025 college football season will be upon us. A lot of expectations, obviously, on this Notre Dame team in the 2025 version under head coach Marcus Freeman. And a big reason for that is the consistency that we have seen on the defensive side of the football. There's obviously some questions going from Al Golden to Chris Ash as defense coordinator, but there is a ton of talent to work with. And you all know the headliners of the group. You know Leonard Moore, you know Adon Schuler, you know Drake Bowen, you know the big names. But I think this defense, a little bit differently than last year, which was really buoyed by stars, the Xavier Wattses, the Riley Mills, those types of players, the Benjamin Morrison before his injury this last year. They were a star-studded group who had great depth players around them, great rotational players around them. This is going to be a not as star-heavy group, but is going to be maybe more impactful from a player 1 to player 11 on a consistent basis. So I want to talk about a player that I think has a chance to be a transcendent player and take this team to the next level. And that for me is sophomore linebacker Kingston Viliamu-Asa. 6'3", 235 pounds. We got a glimpse of him, a lot of glimpses in 2024. 37 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, had a sack, had an interception, but did deal with some injuries down the stretch of the season right before the playoffs, which I think limited his overall impact. But I feel like he's become a little bit of a lost person in the shuffle to a lot of just kind of Notre Dame talk this time of year, because you know about Drake Bowen, Jay Nosberry, who was very productive in a snap-to-snap perspective last year, and Jalen Sneed has been a linebacker that people have talked about a whole lot, taking that next step forward, but we're forgetting about the borderline 5-star recruits in the 2024 recruiting class in Kingston Viliamu-Asa. As I mentioned, he's a bigger body linebacker, could play Mike, could play Will. We also saw him last year rush off the edge a ton, and with the injuries that we have seen on the edge, and obviously Jordan Patello is going to miss a chunk of the first portion of the season. Boubacar Traore is coming back and expected back, but he's still coming off an injury. Like, that room has been a little bit shaken by injuries over the last several months. And I would love to see if they are thinking about, hey, how do we supplement that loss? Kingston Viliamu-Asa is a player that can do that while also being an impactful player on the second level. Rangy, can play in coverage, can blitz. He's an incredibly instinctive young football player. I would bet my money that he will take a huge jump in 2025, and I would not be shocked if he is at least among the leading tacklers on this team, if not the leading tackler potentially. If he is as good as I think he is, I think he could potentially take that spot next to Drake Bowen as far as being the high volume getter at the position. We're going to see obviously a rotation, but if he is a guy that's getting more snaps, a lot more snaps than what he did last season, I think that he has a chance to be a budding star in 2025. Folks, put in the comments, who's your pick? First and foremost, what do you think about my Kingston Viliamu-Asa pick for the defensive side of the football? Now put in the player that you believe will be an X factor. Maybe not the big name or the national name that people are talking about this time of year, but will have a huge impact on the Fighting Irish defense in 2025. Put in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe on your way out. And as always, go Irish.